Okay, real quick wrestling related video. By the way, before I even start this, mark your calendars because I'm going to be moving into my own apartment without roommates and shit within next week before Friday. That's like the latest date that they can get the new place ready. And so, yeah. So, about like the day after, I'm going to do a massive 8-hour stream where I'm going to be grinding for Mega Man PBs, and I'm going to be playing Final Fantasy 1, not the NES version, but the PS1 version. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have to I'm going to either find a way to record it on my capture card, which I don't know if my capture card can get PS3 footage, but if it can, great. If not, then what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to go real old school and buy a webcam and point the webcam at the TV and record it that way. And we're going to attempt to do a speed run of that game. I don't care if it takes me 5 hours. I don't care if it takes me 8 hours. I'm just going to try and do it anyways. So that is going to be sometime during the second week of August. So next week, 8th, sometime. You will see it. You will see it when I go live. You'll see that I've scheduled a stream. And I might actually need to change some things up here. Hold on a second. There we go. Make it a little bit more presentable. Perfect. Okay, cool. All right, now. So, yeah. Might also have to mute some of the game footage because of my Earthbound PB, my 459. It can't be shown in the US because it has a whole bunch of copyright strikes because my channel is very small. So I've had to mute certain parts of the PB, and I'm still in the process of doing that, and that's why I haven't even submitted it to the Earthbound community, which sucks because it's a really good PB. But I'll get that done. And if the same thing happens with Final Fantasy 1, I don't know if I've seen it happen with Mega Man 3, but if it does happen with Final Fantasy 1, what I might have to do is not stream here anymore. I do like streaming on YouTube more than Twitch because I have more YouTube followers than Twitch followers, but Twitch is also, they will let you play video game stuff because they are, they're designed for gaming, so whatever. Anyways, but that's all next week. I'm going to figure out some ways to do what I have to do next week there. So, yeah. Anyways, topic of the video. WWE has fired Bray Wyatt, or Wyndham Rotunda. That's his real name. Hold on a second. Another great thing about this new place I'm gonna be at is that I don't have to deal with streaming and recording and doing content in this small room. So I won't be sweating like balls. I won't have to deal with my toilet just like flushes automatically and it's really loud. I don't know if the mic can pick it up, but I can definitely hear it. So I've had to close my friggin' bathroom door, and that just kind of silences it a little bit. And my neighbors, they throw friggin' block parties out there, which is fine because that means they won't break into my car because they're kind of, whatever. They're having block parties. But still, it's annoying. They're okay now because everyone's moved out, but it was pretty bad. I'll be moving to a part of the complex where it's not going to be as loud. Maybe. Maybe. Anyways, oh my god, I've spoken for 4 minutes just talking about dumb shit and about stupid updating on nonsense. And I'm going to talk for another 20 on this. Not really, but whatever. So WWE has fired Bray Wyatt, or Wyndham Rotunda, whoever you want to call him. I'll alternate between his stage name and his real name. And everyone's all other wrestling content creators are all up in arms about it. They're like, oh my god, how could this possibly happen? I'm not surprised. WWE, they don't need to take risks anymore in order to be relevant in the wrestling world, because they're the only thing that's been relevant in the wrestling world for the last 20 years. Okay? They can do whatever they want with whoever they want on their rosters, on their talent rosters, in their backstage, for any employee or anyone who they hire, anyone who is on their payroll. They could straight up fire Roman Reigns tomorrow. They could be like, you know what, Mr. Anoa'i, we just don't think you're, we don't need you anymore. Bye. And they can do that. And they know that someone else will fill his shoes. You should not be surprised about this because in WWE, everybody is replaceable. Anybody who doesn't have the last name McMahon or Levesque is replaceable. Even Shawn Michaels, even Michael Hickenbottom, even he is replaceable. As much as he's contributed to WWE, that doesn't matter. WWE could be like, we don't need you. Sorry. I know you're training the NXT guys real well, but we don't need you. You cost too much money to have around, so bye. WWE could do that with anyone. Even what's his name? Something Khan. I don't remember. Not Tony Khan, obviously. The other guy. There's another guy with the last name Khan who works at WWE. Even that dude. Okay? Even that guy. Pretty sure Vince McMahon could be like, could tell whoever, could just tell him to fire him. Be like, yeah, we don't need you anymore. Sorry. I'm not surprised about this. You shouldn't be either. And guess what? WWE. Bray Wyatt's going to come back. WWE is going to hire Bray Wyatt back. They are. They hired Samoa Joe back. They said, you know what? We didn't need you for a bit, but after a few months, yeah, we'll take you back. They're going to do the same thing with Bray Wyatt, okay? They really are. Like, you shouldn't be surprised about anyone in WWE getting fired at all, okay? Because everyone in WWE is replaceable. Everyone in WWE has been replaceable ever since their charities, who they work with, have begun to make up a significant source of WWE's bottom line. Okay? And this has been happening. I've been meaning to do a video about this, and I'm going to do a much larger video about it when I get into this new apartment, when I can actually not be distracted, and when I can actually sit and put together a video that I'm actually going to use editing software to put together and make it like a really cool thing, a big project that I can actually dedicate some time to work on, because that would be a little bit better than me just firing up OBS and here I am, you know what I mean? Like, that to me is like the most like organic way to do this kind of stuff. But when it comes to like really making a point about how like how much WWE has been on autopilot since, like, we'll say 2009, we'll say something like that, around 2009, 2010, you're going to be very, 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 very shocked at who WWE really needs and who they do not need. Okay? Here's the real reason why WWE has fired Wyndham Rotunda. And I'll tell you right now. It's because WWE can find anyone. All they need is warm bodies. All they need is warm bodies to go to these charities and to be a good spokesperson for these charities. Okay? Now you're thinking, oh, how about Titus O'Neil is one of those? He's the ambassador, right? Yeah, he's the ambassador for now. Wait until Kofi Kingston stops wrestling full time. Wait until he says, you know what? I'm in my 40s. I kind of want to make like quarterly appearances, like Goldberg and stuff like that. Pretty sure Titus O'Neil needs to spend time with his family and stuff. How about you fire him, and how about you make me the ambassador? You think that's not going to happen? It is going to happen. It probably will, man. Either him or Xavier Woods. Probably Xavier Woods, because Xavier Woods has an educational background similar to Titus O'Neil. Okay. And Titus O'Neil has the athletic background too. And they're both good, ambassadors for the communities of their race. I don't want to use that kind of language. I don't want to, even like if it's innocent sounding enough, which it is, but I still want to leave it to your imagination which race they represent. So yeah, man. You should not be surprised about this. You shouldn't be surprised about anybody who WWE fires. I wasn't surprised about WWE, rewarding Jimmy Uso for for getting a DUI. I was not surprised about that at all. And yeah, that clashed with my principles. And I said, you know what? I'm not watching any more WWE programming. And to this day, ever since that happened a couple of weeks ago, I haven't watched any non-TV. I've watched like clips on YouTube. You know what I mean? I don't really count that as directly watching WWE programming, because someone in the comments of my Jimmy Uso video said, "Oh, I tried to stop watching WWE, but I kept getting pulled back in." To which I said, "You know what? This goes for all wrestling content that I watch. Even AEW and NWA, which I like very much more than WWE and have for the last 2 years. That stuff is just background noise. You know what I mean? It's wrestling content creators who I like to watch. You know what I mean? I'll watch attentively more a video from Wrestling Bios or from Mark ED, or even with Wrestling with Regret and other YouTubers who take like moments or little eras or something like that, or characters or shows, and like put them under a microscope. And I kind of want to do that myself, especially with me having the background in history and enjoying history and stuff like that. But Wrestling Bios stole that from me. I mean, he made it before I did, so it's like I'm gonna be copying him. I guess I could be called Wrestling Bios USA if I wanted to do that, because he's what's it called? Scottish? I wouldn't say Scottish. I don't know. He's from somewhere in Northern Europe. But nah, I'll let someone like him do what he has to do. But I'd rather watch those because those are way more entertaining than WWE has been for a very, very, very long time. And even a guy like Bray Wyatt, yeah, he had a pretty cool character, pretty cool gimmick, I guess. I never bought it. I enjoyed his 2013 to 2015 or so, or 17, whatever, before he became The Fiend. The Fiend I thought was just so, like, cartoonish, man. I'm like, what is this? No, man, I'm good. I'm good, dude. But before it became The Fiend, it was pretty cool. I like the little cult leader guy. Reminded me of Waylon Mercy back in the mid '90s. They had, or like early '90s, something like that. I don't know. But so it's not like Bray Wyatt wasn't creative. But guess what? He was too creative, and that's how WWE is now. If you're too creative, you're gonna have heat on you. And when you have heat on you, you're going to be more replaceable than you ever were. And the reason why that is because WWE now works with charity sponsors, with sponsors who don't want, who would look at WWE's product 15 to 20 years ago and say, yeah, we're not going to get behind that. We're not going to get behind that one iota. But they'll look at WWE's programming for the last, we'll say, decade, or specifically the last 5 or so years, since we'll say, I'd say like maybe 12 or 13. Somewhere in between 12 and, something like mid 2012 to like mid 2013 is when WWE really became soft for the charities they're working with. And so when someone like Bray Wyatt creates a character that's pretty much almost a real life embodiment or real life version of Baphomet, charity sponsors, the charities who sponsor WWE's stuff, they're going to be like, yeah, no, not dealing with that. Sorry. And that's where you bring up the question, oh, what about Alexa Bliss? What about Lexi with her Lexi's Playground thing like that? That's because it's a chick doing it, and it's not seen as threatening as a dude doing it like Bray Wyatt. And yeah, I get that with Alexa Bliss. She's like the she fiend, right? Yeah. Only she's not. She's more like, I don't know. It's just really, it's not as believable as the fiend. I mean, Alexa Bliss was way better as the goddess when she was this asshole, like, when she was this like asshole diva like goddess in 2016 to 2018. That was way more believable than whatever she has now. But I was getting off track. So yeah, you should not be surprised about this at all. I'm certainly not. And when WWE can come to terms with a better character, a better gimmick for Bray Wyatt that is more attuned to the sponsors, the many, many sponsors that WWE has, then they'll bring him back. They will. Then they'll bring him back. Until then, yeah, no more Bray Wyatt, no more Fiend. And it sucks because Bray Wyatt is what? He's like 36, 35-ish. So he's about to blossom. Now, does that mean he's not going to try to go into AEW or NWA? Probably. I mean, he probably will. I mean, it looks like AEW is the one who's like picking up all the scraps from WWE. They're like, oh yeah, man, you don't want to be in WWE? Yeah, here, come to us. It's good. Especially with dudes over 40. Like, how many dudes over 40 or even over 45 has AEW let in from WWE? You have, in 2021 alone, let's count them. We got Mark Henry, we got Paul White, we got The Big Show, and we got Christian Cage, and Jason Riso, whatever you want to call him. I tend to use the real names just because it's fun. But Christian, And then, of course, they got everyone else. They got other guys who stopped doing WWE, like Andrade Almas. Now he's called Andrade El Idolo, which is, whatever. And Malachi Black. Now he was Aleister Black. Now he's Malachi Black. You know what I mean? So AEW is quick to pick up these scraps, and they're gonna probably come to Bray Wyatt. They're gonna come to Wyndham Rotunda and be like, "Yo, man, you can do some stuff with us. We'll put you in a program with the Dark Order. We can make you the leader of the Dark Order. Take over where John Huber left off before he tragically passed. Yeah, you can do that kind of stuff. And he can do what Brody Lee wanted to do, that kind of stuff. He could be like the second coming. You know what I mean? You think AEW is not thinking about that, and they probably are. And I can imagine, unless Bray Wyatt has a 3-month non-compete, that you'll probably see him pretty soon, sometime in the fall or winter. That might happen, but also may not happen. It also may be a thing where WWE is just doing the same thing with Bray Wyatt as they did with Samoa Joe, where they said, you know what, we're not going to fight you temporarily or permanently, we're just going to let you go for a little bit, but we're probably going to bring you back in because we're probably going to negotiate a little bit more with you and stuff like that, and that kind of stuff. That's exactly what happened to Samoa Joe. I remember, because like when everyone was freaking out about Samoa Joe being released, like Solo Monster and GMW and OTRS and all those guys, I would come in the comments and be like, they're gonna hire Samoa Joe back. Like WWE is just gonna hire him back in like a month. What happened? WWE hired him back because he was way too useful. So yeah, fire is not permanent in wrestling, guys. It isn't. It's just like retiring. Retiring hasn't been permanent since Terry Funk did it when I was born in 1982. That was the first time that Terry Funk retired. I'm gonna make a video about that too, like a nice edited video production about that. It's gonna be very similar to Eye Patch Wolf's videos. If you are a fan of him, and Eye Patch Wolf is really cool. So I want to kind of do a video like that, but that'll take like months for me to do. That'll be like a big homework project, but it'll be pretty fun. So yeah. Anyways, thank you for watching and listening. And next week, let's go. Big stream coming up. Be prepared. I'll be prepared. I'm gonna do. There's gonna be some surprises too in this stream. I might drink a little bit. Might eat some junk food, that kind of stuff. Might be a little, do more entertaining shit on stream. Yeah, so that'll be pretty fun. It'll be a good time. It'll be good times for all. All right, guys. Take care. Thank you for watching and listening.